What if I told you that the reason you don't have more money isn't because you haven't worked hard enough, or because life has been unfair, or even because opportunity hasn't knocked at your door, but because you've been chasing it? Yes, I said chasing. The man who chases money declares with every breath that he does not yet possess what it takes to attract it. He affirms unknowingly that money is separate from him, outside of him, far from him. And let me be the first to tell you, money is never far from the man who has trained his mind to magnetize it. You do not attract money by needing it, you attract it by deserving it. And you deserve it by developing within yourself the kind of character, discipline, vision, and mental clarity that money finds irresistible. It is not ambition alone that makes a man wealthy, for I have seen ambition break men as quickly as it builds them. But what makes a man a magnet for wealth is the invisible confidence that grows from definiteness of purpose, the certainty that he is guided by a mind which refuses to compromise with defeat, and the understanding that money follows value, not noise. Now listen carefully. There's a very specific reason why so many men are broke in spirit, not just in pocket. They are broke because they do not understand law. They believe money operates on charm or charisma or luck. But money obeys spiritual law, the same law that governs seed time and harvest governs wealth. And that law does not respond to panic, nor to pleading, nor to desperation. It responds to preparation. It responds to mental harmony. It responds to faith that has been put to work. And this is why the man who stops chasing and begins building himself becomes so attractive to wealth, because he aligns with that law. He does not wish for money. He prepares for it. He creates a place for it. He builds systems, strengthens habits, and establishes routines that make the arrival of wealth inevitable. He does not demand riches from the world. He earns them by first making himself the kind of person to whom wealth naturally flows. Now, do not misunderstand me. There is nothing wrong with the desire for money. It is right and good and necessary. But the desire for money must be subordinate to the desire for growth. Because money is not an end, it is a reflection. It reflects who you are, what you think, how you serve, and what you expect from yourself. The world pays in proportion to the clarity of your vision and the strength of your commitment. If your thoughts are scattered and your energy inconsistent, then your results will reflect that disorder. But when your mind becomes ordered, calm, and directed toward definite ends, the world will adjust to reflect that inner condition. So here's the first law you must engrave upon your mind. Stop chasing what you should be attracting. You do not chase sunlight. You open the windows and let it in. You do not chase oxygen. You breathe deeply and receive it in the same way you do not chase money. You become receptive to it by creating internal alignment. This means you must align your thoughts with wealth, your speech with abundance, and your actions with purpose. When I say purpose, I do not mean a vague idea. I mean a definite chief aim, a reason for your existence that transcends the superficial desire to survive or look successful. A true purpose gives birth to wealth because it demands the development of discipline, focus, persistence, and faith. These are the qualities that attract money because they are rare. And money always flows to rare and valuable expressions of mind. Now ask yourself, are you developing these qualities daily? Are you feeding your subconscious with thoughts of increase, ideas of value, and images of wealth? Or are you polluting your mind with doubts, comparisons, and complaints? For whatever occupies your mind occupies your life. And the man who is mentally poor cannot become financially rich no matter how hard he works. But the man who is rich in thought, who cultivates his belief and guards his attitude, he is building an empire before a dollar arrives. Let me say this again so your soul does not forget it. Wealth is a result, never a cause. You are the cause. Your mindset, your belief system, your habits, these are the seeds. And you cannot reap what you do not sow. So if you are surrounded by financial struggle, understand that the answer is not outside of you, it is within. It is in the quality of your thoughts and the consistency of your behavior. As you change, your results will change, not immediately but inevitably. You must now begin the process of self-transformation. This is not about working harder, it is about working higher. Raise your standards. Eliminate excuses. Speak only of what you intend to manifest, not what you fear may happen, and most of all, discipline your thoughts. For thoughts are magnetic. They carry a vibration. And that vibration determines what is drawn into your experience. There is no such thing as a neutral thought. Every idea you hold either moves you toward wealth or away from it. Every sentence you speak either reinforces your abundance or deepens your poverty. This is not philosophy alone, it is practical science. The man who talks defeat will see it. The man who affirms progress will walk into it. And the man who believes he is destined for greatness, no matter how small his beginnings, he will create that greatness. Now let's go deeper. The subconscious mind is your greatest servant, but it cannot think for itself. It only accepts what you tell it repeatedly, emotionally, and with conviction. And once it believes something to be true, it begins to attract conditions that reflect that truth. This means your first job is not to make more money. It is to convince your subconscious that you are already wealthy in potential. Speak it, feel it, act it, embody it. This is not delusion. It is creation. For all results begin first in belief. This is how the magnet is built. Not through wishing, but through becoming. You must become magnetic by aligning your inner world with the image of the man who already has what you seek. How does he wake up? What does he tolerate? What does he believe? How does he respond to obstacles? How does he carry himself when no one is watching? The more vividly you can answer these questions, the more clearly you can embody the answer, and the faster you will draw into your life the money you once chased. This is why I always say, success is not something you achieve. It is something you attract by the person you become. And money is the most obedient servant of a mind that is governed by truth, clarity, and purpose. So do not complain when results are slow. Do not whine when the harvest takes time. Instead, ask, what am I still believing that keeps me in scarcity? What am I still doing that declares I am unworthy of wealth? What part of me must die so the real me can emerge? The answers to those questions will bring you face to face with the man who has been chasing. And when you see him, thank him for surviving, but tell him kindly he is no longer needed. A new man is here, a man who is not ruled by fear, a man who is no longer trying to impress or prove or panic his way to success, a man who is ready. Now let the world catch up, for the magnet does not move in haste. He knows that what he desires is already in motion, and he walks accordingly. When a man stops chasing money and begins attracting it, he has crossed an invisible threshold, a turning point where his identity is no longer shaped by the external world, but by the inner image he holds of himself. That inner image, my friend, is your greatest asset. It is the blueprint from which every result in your life is drawn. For what you hold in your imagination and accept in your heart as truth becomes your experience in due time. But the world will not give you more until you believe you are worthy of more. Not because the world is cruel, but because it operates by law. You cannot attract what you subconsciously reject. You cannot command what you secretly fear. And you cannot manifest what you resent in others. So if the success of others makes you bitter, if the wealthy make you envious, then you are not yet ready. You must cleanse the mind of these lower vibrations. You must bless what you want before you possess it. I have seen men destroy their own financial future because they could not accept that wealth is good, that prosperity is spiritual, and that abundance is available to all, not just to the few. And so I say to you now, whatever belief within you says money is wrong, that belief must be destroyed. Not because money will save you, but because without a right relationship to it, money will avoid you, or worse, it will control you. You must replace all internal resistance with a deep knowing. I am the source through which value flows. I am not dependent on money. I am a generator of ideas, service, energy, and results, and these in turn draw money to me like metal to a magnet, This knowing does not come from arrogance. It comes from alignment, from understanding your God-given ability to think, to choose, to create. The greatest power you will ever wield is the power of your thoughts. If you do not master them, they will master you. And if they are mastered by fear, then fear will shape your life. But if you shape your thoughts with intention, if you give them direction, if you nourish them with faith, then your thoughts will carve the road upon which wealth travels to meet you. But you must be specific. The subconscious mind does not respond to vague desires. It responds to clear commands, and so you must define exactly what you want, not someday, but now. Write it, speak it, visualize it, feel it, live it. For your subconscious cannot help but obey repeated emotionalized instruction. And when your instruction is rich in belief and repetition, the subconscious will begin to work night and day, moving you into alignment with the thing you desire. This is not fantasy. This is application of universal law, the law that says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If in your heart you are still doubting, still hesitating, still self-sabotaging, then the outer world will mirror that back to you. But if in your heart you are already wealthy, calm, clear, generous, and full of conviction, then the world must adjust to reflect that identity. Now let me ask you something personal. Do you still view money as the goal? If so, shift your perspective. Money is not the goal, it is a tool, a mirror, a symbol. The real goal is to become the kind of man who creates value wherever he goes, who elevates every room he enters, who commands respect not because of what he has, but because of who he is. And when you become this man, wealth will be the natural result, not because you chased it, but because you became too valuable to be ignored. You must stop thinking in terms of survival and begin thinking in terms of expansion. Do not work just to pay your bills. Work to build legacy. Speak not of what you lack, but of what you are building. Think not of what is missing, but of who you must become to hold what you desire. The magnet does not complain, it does not compete. It simply exists in alignment, and all that is aligned with it must come near. So check your alignment. Are your habits in alignment with the wealth you claim to want? Are your friendships, your conversations, your standards, your thoughts, are they building the man who attracts abundance? Or are they reinforcing the man who fears it, resents it, or doubts it? No man attracts wealth without first shedding the layers of mediocrity that repel it. You must outgrow the excuses, outgrow the laziness, outgrow the fantasy that someone else will rescue you. Your life is your responsibility, and so is your income. The market pays you not what you think you're worth, it pays you what you prove you're worth through service and skill. So increase your skill. Deepen your service. Think beyond your own needs. Ask yourself every day, who can I help today? What problem can I solve? What can I create that did not exist yesterday? These questions, when asked sincerely and repeatedly, will transform your energy. You will shift from scarcity to creativity, from chasing to contribution. And it is contribution that creates cash flow. The bigger the problem you solve, the more people you serve, the more valuable you become. It's not about luck, it's about law. Money moves toward impact, toward excellence, toward solutions. And if you are not yet seeing the income you desire, ask yourself honestly, have I become the solution that money wants to find? Now, let me give you something practical. Every night before you sleep, review your day with precision. What did you do to build the magnetic man? What thoughts did you entertain? What actions did you take that are consistent with your vision? What must be improved tomorrow? This daily review will accelerate your transformation, because the man who reflects is the man who rises. Most people never look at themselves with honesty. But if you will, and if you will do it daily, you will improve faster than 99% of men around you, and your income will rise to match your internal evolution. Then, upon rising in the morning, before the world reaches you, reach inward. Speak your vision aloud. Declare who you are becoming. Write it, feel it, own it. Let it become the first sound your subconscious hears, the first feeling your body absorbs, the first direction your mind takes, because the morning is your moment of power. And if you waste it in fear or distraction, you will dilute your magnetism for the day. You are not here to survive. You are here to shine. You are not here to scrape by. You are here to serve at the highest level of your ability. And when you do, money will not be an issue. It will be a partner in your mission. Do not apologize for this. Do not shrink because others cannot yet see it. Most people are asleep, walking through life in reaction, blaming circumstances. But you have chosen to wake up. And in doing so, you become a light, a leader, a lighthouse in a world filled with fog. And that light, my friend, is magnetic. Now remember this, you are not chasing money, you are becoming the man who attracts it. You are not hustling for scraps, you are positioning yourself for overflow. You are not worried about timelines, you are working from faith. You are not hoping something changes, you are changing and everything else will follow. You are not weak, lost, or broken. You are powerful, directed, and rising. And that is why money is on its way. Not because of what you're doing, but because of who you're becoming. You are no longer the man who searches outward for wealth. You are the man who awakens inward to his own power. And from that awakening, a new force begins to move through your life. Not the force of effort alone, but the force of alignment. You see, when you begin living by law rather than emotion, by principle rather than panic, you no longer ask, how can I get more? You ask, how can I become more? And that question, my friend, is the gateway to transformation. You are not becoming magnetic by accident. You are doing so by design. And your design is shaped daily by the images you hold in your mind and the standards you enforce in your life. This is not just about money. This is about identity, because you can never attract anything that contradicts who you believe you are. And once you believe deep in your spirit that you are a source of abundance, a generator of value, a vessel of divine power, then nothing can stop you from creating the financial destiny that was always meant to be yours. Now, I will tell you something very few people will ever have the courage to admit. Wealth is not random. It is not reserved for the chosen few. It is attracted by design. It is governed by invisible laws that never sleep. You must learn those laws, live those laws, and become a demonstration of those laws. Only then will money recognize your energy and come to you without resistance. Let us begin with one of the most neglected truths in human existence. Your emotions around money either attract it or repel it. If you associate wealth with guilt, you will block it. If you associate it with anxiety, you will mismanage it. But if you associate it with peace, contribution, and purpose, it will flood your life in proportion to the level of value you bring. You must therefore heal your emotional relationship with money, not later, but now. When you think of money, what do you feel? Do you feel pressure, shame, envy? Or do you feel peace, power, certainty? Whatever you feel, understand this, it is a signal. And money, being an energy that responds to vibration, will only align with those who are congruent. So the work is not to chase dollars, it is to purify your inner frequency, to eliminate the noise, to root out the guilt, to destroy the scarcity, to raise your emotional set point to the level where money feels natural. Because wealth is not a miracle, it is the most natural result of right thinking, right feeling, and right doing. Now, many people say, if I had more money, I would be confident. No, you must be confident, and then you will have more money. Confidence is a spiritual magnet, not arrogance, not ego, but the deep inner knowing that you are enough, you are capable, and you are worthy, not someday, but now. This confidence does not come from what others say. It comes from the disciplines you keep when no one's watching. from the promises you keep to yourself, from the vision you never abandon, and from the values you refuse to compromise, no matter the temptation. That is where true magnetism is born. It is built in silence, in solitude, in the furnace of faith. And when it is complete, you will not need to advertise it. People will feel it. They will sense that you are different, that you are stable, that you cannot be shaken. And because of that, opportunities will find you. Resources will come to you. Money will orbit around you because you have become a man of weight, a man of spiritual gravity, a man who no longer chases but calls. Now hear me, this journey requires separation. You cannot become magnetic to wealth while clinging to environments of poverty. You must disconnect from the voices that mock growth, that normalize struggle, that shame ambition, because the subconscious mind absorbs the dominant voices in your life. And if those voices are rooted in fear, then your results will mirror that fear. So be bold enough to upgrade your environment, your friends, your information, your language, your daily inputs, because you are always being programmed. And the magnetic man is one who takes full responsibility for that programming. He feeds his mind with truth. He guards his heart from envy. He floods his spirit with vision. And he walks with men who call out his greatness, not his excuses. That is the life of the man who no longer needs to prove anything. He simply is. And because he is, money follows. Not as a reward, but as a reflection. Now let me speak of another secret. Peace is more magnetic than hustle. Yes, action matters. Yes, work is required. But frantic energy creates resistance. Desperation pushes what you desire away. It is the calm man, the composed man, the centered man who becomes the lighthouse. And money, like ships lost in fog, finds its way to light. So cultivate peace. Not the peace that comes from results, but the peace that precedes them. The peace that says, I know who I am. The peace that says, what I seek is already seeking me. The peace that says, delay is not denial. The peace that comes only from deep alignment. You are not proving anything to anyone. You are becoming. You are building. You are attracting. And that is enough. That is powerful. That is the posture of the new magnet. The man who attracts money does not panic in silence. He prepares in silence. He builds his structures before the blessing arrives. He organizes his finances. He sharpens his value. He invests in his mind. He upgrades his identity because he knows when money comes, he must be ready to hold it, multiply it, manage it, and direct it with wisdom. Wealth without wisdom is a curse. But wealth governed by principle becomes generational. This is what I want for you, not just cash, but capacity. Not just riches, but reign. Not just income, but impact. But you must become magnetic at the level of being. No shortcuts. No pretending. No chasing. No proving. Just becoming. And that becoming happens one day at a time. One belief at a time. One declaration at a time. So begin again today. Walk like man who knows what is coming. Speak like a man who trusts the unseen. Decide like a man who has already won in spirit, because you have. You are no longer the baker. You are the builder. You are no longer the chaser. You are the creator. You are no longer the victim. You are the vessel of value, of vision, of victory. And from this place you will create wealth, not from pressure, but from peace. Because peace is power. And power, when applied consistently, attracts everything you once ran after, including money. So I leave you with this. There is nothing you need to chase, nothing you need to force. Nothing you need to beg for. The only thing you must do now is align. Deeply, fully, relentlessly. Align your thoughts with truth. Your speech with abundance. Your actions with purpose. Your emotions with peace. And your standards with destiny. Because when you are in alignment, money is not a maybe, it is a must. It has no choice. Because you have become the magnet. And the magnet never chases.